Finally, there's some confirmation about the biggest rumor and worst kept secret about the legendary Pokemon. Yes, that's right, we are able to ride Koraidon and Miraidon. And I was definitely apprehensive about this idea at first, I kind of didn't want it. But I think more recently I've warmed up to the idea, and after actually seeing it in gameplay, I've been won over. I think I realized this when I was watching a recent video on the topic by Not So Ace Trainer, who you should definitely check out for more Scarlet and Violet videos. But as for my thoughts on these two big lizards, well, just look at them, they're adorable. With a game like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, a type of ride Pokemon was absolutely needed after we got the test run in Legends Arceus. So I find it interesting that they decided to use the box art legendary Pokemon as the mode of transportation, and make them each the all-in-one package for a more seamless experience. Though this actually creates more questions than answers. So on the Pokemon website, we're given a handful of details about these two. Both Koraidon and Miraidon are able to do the same things, just that they go by different names because one Pokemon is very natural and the other is very technological. Koraidon has different builds while Miraidon has different modes. And I have seen a lot of people getting bent out of shape because Koraidon just runs using its hind legs instead of transforming completely into a vehicle with spinning wheels, but like, I think this works much better. Koraidon is just built different. These two Pokemon are meant to represent past and future, so it's also running versus hovering. So it seems that throughout our journey, we'll learn to master the different forms used by each Pokemon, and thus unlock the next way to travel. I think this sounds really solid and it's all good for the mechanics, but it brings up the question of the story. Because the legendary Pokemon will be our main mode of transportation, that means we're going to meet it pretty early on in the game. So rather than being a final boss to defeat at the very end, it's our buddy within the first few hours. Yet again, another hot point of debate. I will say that ever since Generation 7, we've been seeing the main legendary Pokemon of each game more than usual. With Solgaleo and Lunala, we met them within the first hour of the game, though in its pre-evolved form as a Cosmog. And even though Lily is the one taking care of Nebby for most of the game, we still spend time with the big important Pokemon outside of the climax. Oh, and look, in Ultra Sun and Moon, we could even ride the legendary Pokemon through Ultra Wormholes. Pokemon Sword and Shield didn't have the legendaries as ever present, but we still encounter them within the first hour of the game, and during the climax of the story, we fight alongside them after having unlocked the secrets of their history. In both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, we form a connection with the legendary Pokemon in order to help them evolve in the case of Kubfu, or to regain their original status in the case of Calyrex. In Legends, Arceus literally sends us back in time to save the world, and sends us text messages whenever he gets bored. And now in Scarlet and Violet, we'll be so close to Koraidon and Miraidon that we won't be able to complete the game without them. Personally, I've really liked the approach of the legendary Pokemon not just playing a part in the story, but being a part of the player character's life. The boxes have always had these fantastic beasts on the cover, and before, the expectation was that we'd have to fight them at the very end of the game. Sure, it's important to the story, but it wouldn't show up until that story is almost over. Nowadays, the box is a much better representation of the game itself. When you choose Scarlet or Violet, you aren't just choosing which lizard you're going to get as a piece of your Pokedex, you're choosing which Pokemon will be your friend for the entirety of the game. And I get that some people might still not like the idea, but I'm all for it. I think it makes these Pokemon a lot more than just cover art. But onto some mini theory stuff, I suspect that we, as a player character, have an orientation at the school. And then we stumble down to the beach as part of the treasure hunt where we encounter this mysterious Pokemon who decides to follow us. Looking at some of the footage in the recent trailer and trying to piece it together, I think that's how it all fits. This at the south of the region is where the protagonist house is, and the beach right by it could be where we find the legendary Pokemon. But that's just a few guesses for the story, because the actual main important part is that these Pokemon are going to be with us at all. In the end, it all just makes for a bunch of memes. I am so glad we finally got some more gameplay, and I kind of see why it took so long, because in order to show more of the region, they had to show off this mechanic. But I am really excited to see what other secrets these Pokemon have in store. And I'm going to be playing Scarlet first, so I'm really looking forward to making friends with Koraidon. And so until then, we ride on. Going fast makes me feel alive. My heart beats in hyperdrive. Do you think you could win? Only if I lose. Just let destiny choose. I can hear you breathing, I can see you coming, I can feel the wind, it's blowing me around. Thank you to all of my channel members who make videos like this possible, especially the great Gators Jackson, Justin R, Mr. Pig Puncher, and Quago. If you'd like to support, get a shout out here, and some access to emotes used in comments and live streams, then you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter for more memes as well. Anyway, this has been GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds! Dragons vs. Gods!
This high-intensity matchup has just gone high voltage!
It's over, Jack!
Jack, oh no!
Jack's lost! Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, all new, next Saturday morning at 11:30 on the CW4 Kids Toons